The most important thing and the most shocking thing is that Nigerian people seems to be very scared. If you want change, if you want to move from point A to point B, you must leave your comfort zone. It is because President Muhammad Buhari and the National Assembly feel they have conquered the Nigerian people. That is why the president and the parliament is now dishing out all sorts of political and economic abracadabra, because they know the people cannot do anything. You want good governance? You don't want to march on the street. You don't want to stand and speak for what you believe would be right for you, your generation, your children, and everybody. How did the parliament, in less than 1 hour, shock the whole world and approve $22.7 billion in foreign loan, and on the same day approve $5.5 billion in foreign loan for President Muhammad Buhari? And let me say this very clear. This proposal for $22.7 billion was brought under Bukola Saraki and Dogora leadership of the parliament. They asked government for details of this borrowing plan, including the project, how viable are they. The president couldn't meet up with the demands of the parliament. It was rejected. And now they have brought in Ahmed Lawan. Just like we always say, that they brought them in to act as political hallelujah boys. If not, tell me the reason why Nigerians were waiting to see the Senate discuss robustly the issue of borrowing $5.5 billion. Only for Nigerians to wake up and now see that they have smuggled in $22.7 billion, so that Nigerian people will not know. Before you know it, they say they have approved it. In less than 1 hour, both the Senate and the reps. And this recklessness is so painful in the sense that this is a government that is going about borrowing money, junketing from one street in China to IMF boardroom, asking for loans. Now, when you borrow $22.7 billion, it is shocking that inside that borrowing plan, $500 million will go to renovation of NTA. What kind of rascality is that? You say you don't have money. You say the republic is broke. We're facing a health and economic problem, and then you go and borrow money that you don't even have the resources to repay back, and then you waste it on repairing NTA that is not commercially viable because they earn only government views. And not only that, you're going to spend part of those money on so-called digitalization of data of EFCC and the National Identity Management Commission with over 70 billion. Is this what Nigeria needs at this particular moment? And then the painful part of it, to show you that the parliament have been highly compromised politically. The parliament is getting 27 billion naira to renovate the National Assembly. Ask me, you reduce the budget of health in this period of health emergency. You can see how the government is thinking. You need to understand how Buhari and the Senate and Rep people are thinking. You reduce the budget of the health ministry, which is very important at this particular moment that we have health emergency. And when you reduce the budget of health, what did you do? You allowed the Senate to go and take 27 billion naira to go and renovate the chambers of the National Assembly. Of what use is that? Has the place decayed? The place is still very strong, and they have a yearly maintenance fee that they have been spending in the last 10-15 years. So you can see that the president does not understand the reality on the ground. He is still on an economic reckless spending. Because if the president is not reckless in terms of spending, there will be no justification to be begging for loans on the street of China and boardroom of IMF, only for you to get the loan in this time of hardship, and you take 200 billion to repay NTA, and then you take over 70 billion to match the data of EFCC and the National Identity Management Commission. Then you take 27 billion and give Ahmed Lawan and Femi Gbajabiamila for them to repay the National Assembly. So you can say that it was because the president allowed the parliament to get away with a frivolous 27 billion renovation of National Assembly that the parliament in less than 1 hour approved a reckless borrowing plan. Not to talk about the fact that we are in court over this borrowing plan. Tomorrow the court is supposed to start hearing on this matter. They rushed yesterday to say they have approved it. And then in that approval, there is lopsidedness in the loan itself. You have a loan that is over 11-12 trillion, and most parts of the country, especially the southeast and part of northeast, was not captured. And these are the things that breed the disunity and the lack of national cohesion. When you make divisive action, this loan is going to be paid by generation yet unborn, and you exclude other parts of the country arrogantly, and then go ahead because you have a group of parliamentarians who see themselves as political errand boys whose job it is to serve dinner on the table of the executive. And I want to tell you this. Nigerians have already accepted that the President Muhammad Buhari does not have the capacity to run the country. That one is not in doubt. But now, what about the Senate and the Rep? When did Ahmed Lawan and when the lawmakers allow Ahmed Lawan and Femi Gbajabiamila to reduce the once vibrant National Assembly? Is this not the National Assembly of the likes of Okadibo, Kenan Namani, the likes of Galina Abba, the likes of Aminu Tambo and Ihedioha, the likes of Bankole? How did they reduce the House of Rep to become a house of hallelujah, whereby anything the president have, concord in his dreams, they approve it? This parliament has approved for Mr. President to borrow 850 billion naira from the domestic market. It's not even up to 2-3 weeks. This same parliament has approved for Mr. President to take $3.5 billion. This is over $1 trillion from IMF. It's not even up to a month. This same parliament has also approved other borrowing plans that is almost close to $5 billion. Now, a day before yesterday, they now rushed and approved $5.5 billion in less than 1 hour, approved $22.7 billion in less than 1 hour. And 80% of this project that is tied to this borrowing plan that is over 15 trillion, none of them will be able to repay the loan. They are not economic